When I was 18 and I finished high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. And the first thing that popped out in my mind was physical therapy because I thought, oh well, I like sports a lot. I'm interested about how the body moves, and this is the thing that I'm interested. I believe that this will be the thing that will make for all my life. And I started to study for the test for physical therapy in 20 for in, it was 2020. Okay, I started to study for the test, not being sure if I would be able to pass it because the test for physical therapy in Italy is particularly difficult. I don't really know why, but the fact is there are a lot of people who want to do this profession. So you gotta do a test, and usually around 300 to 400 people that try to enter into physical therapy, only 30 to 40 people actually get into it. So you get a 10% chance of getting into it, which is not impossible, but pretty hard. And after studying all summer and finally taking the test in September, I was able to pass it at the first attempt and I got into physical therapy. Starting to study more about the first, the second, and the final third year, and after I've read a lot of papers and I started to searching for myself, not only into university, but I started to look into other kind of resources, even online, even people that are actual physical therapists and they are sharing informations on the internet for free about their experience, about what they think it is their clinical reasoning in their job. I started to find more and more disappointments in my profession because it wasn't exactly the way I thought about physical therapy. And what I liked about it, which was manual therapy, I understood that manual therapy doesn't do really shit. Okay, it's pretty useless. And also, all the things that they taught me in university about biomechanics and dysfunctioning patterns and all of that crap is basically useless. And I found that what matters more for the patient's outcome during a physical therapy intervention is the ability to create a therapeutic alliance and a good relationship with the physiotherapist. Therapeutic alliance is a fancy term for saying you like me and I like you. You like me as a physical therapist and you trust me, and I trust you as a patient, and I have good expectation towards your outcome in rehabilitation. And it disappointed me. Learning about what physical therapy truly is really disappointed me. And right now I'm starting to see different type of settings to work in physical therapy before totally switching to my profession. But honestly, I'm more on the choice of switching my profession and changing what I previously choose instead of remaining into the field. And since I want to change my profession, and since you probably right now who are watching this video are confused about the kind of career that you want to choose, or maybe you already chosen a career, you pursue that with all your efforts, with all your interest, but you find out for reason XYZ that you don't want to pursue that anymore, you're starting to look around and see what's another type of job or career could be more suitable for you as a person. And I gathered a lot of information from, how can I say, work psychology and positive psychology about life satisfaction and things that you should look for in a job in order to make yourself fulfilled, in order to feel satisfied. And these are my findings according to research. So, first of all, the first thing that you have to look for in a career that you want to find satisfying is the task. You gotta choose the task, not the title or the interest. Because people fall the trap of follow your passion or follow what intrigues you. That was my fault. And the problem with that advice is that you may like and be interested in a topic, but you hate the day-to-day activities related to that profession. For example, you may like the idea of becoming a doctor because of TV shows that may have created a fantasy about what being a doctor actually is like. And you might be also interested in anatomy, in biology, in pathology, and you love all the stuff that is related to medicine. You may enjoy also to study this thing But when it comes to day-to-day tasks, can you really tell what a doctor does? Can you really tell what are his day-to-day activities? Really? Okay? Do you really know what they do? Would you pass 40 to 60 hours of your week talking to patients, making injections, making hard decisions, working night shifts, seeing people dying in front of you, and writing long and boring papers about patients and dosing drug for every one of them? It's actually not that fancy and romanticized when you look at that in reality. So what you can do as an actionable step before choosing a career or a degree is asking yourself, what are the day-to-day activities that I enjoy doing and I'm good at? And once you have an idea about it, okay, for example, I like writing, I like organizing things, I like talking to people, I like, I don't know, yeah, basically all of that stuff. You choose different activities that you like to do, that you enjoy doing, and from there you reverse engineer different career paths that are aligned with the activities that you enjoy doing. Okay? Of course, there wouldn't be a 100% match, and you still have to do things that you hate to do. That's for every job, that's for everything. Everything has something that you will hate about it, but it's the less it has, the better. The second thing that you shouldn't look or account for is salary. And there are two reasons for that. The first reason is that your year's salary doesn't account that much for life satisfaction. Psychologists have found that after 60 to 75k a year, an increase in salary is not correlated with increased happiness. And after that, you are economically stable enough to guarantee a roof over your head, food, water, and the ability to pay for the bills, more money wouldn't make you that much happier. And that's the first reason. The second reason is that if you're watching this kind of video, honestly, you're not aiming for average. You're probably very ambitious. You're someone who wants to do great things. You want to accomplish a lot of good stuff. And that's the reason you're very future oriented. That's the reason because you're watching this video. You're not aiming for average. So when you watch on Google and you say most paid jobs, what you get is a list, okay, of yearly salaries that says like cardiologist 243k a year. Okay, cool. This is the average. This is the average. If you hate being a cardiologist, you may have a good salary, but your life will be miserable. And the thing is, choose what you truly enjoy. Choose the task, as I told before. Choose the task, and from there you choose the career. And after that you have a career, you become good at it. And once you become good at it, everyone will just throw money at you for having your services. So don't choose the average, most paid jobs. Choose something that you enjoy doing. Choose something that you like doing and become fucking good at it. Then everyone will start giving you money. The third thing that you should take into account is your personality. The best way to predict if you will hate a career is choosing something that doesn't align with your personality. What do I mean by that? You want to make an introvert miserable, put him into doing sales, put him into very crowded and loud places, and make him talk to as much people as possible for 40 hours a week. He would hate it. That's how you burn out someone. Or if you want to make an extrovert miserable, it's very easy. Put him into a room like that, white, blank, and let him do what I'm doing right now. So working alone, not talking to anyone, and let him stay in a cubicle for 40 hours a week. This is how you make a person miserable. If you want to wreck an anxious and neurotic person, put him into an unpredictable, noisy, and high-risk environment. And I know that I get it that personality can change a lot, especially in your 20s. Research shows that you can actually change more than you expect. But the fact is, personality have a strong genetic component, and understanding the elements of your personality in your functioning can help you choose a job that is a natural fit for yourself. And for that, I will recommend to take a Big Five personality assessment, and you should do that very seriously and try to answer the question thinking that as much as you possibly can about it. And you can find the test online. Just search for Big Five personality assessment, and you will find a bunch of tests that will assess you for these 5 elements. I will make a video about it maybe in the future. The fourth thing that you should look for in a job is choosing something that is challenging for you. Don't choose for an easy job. Because if you want meaning and satisfaction, you must choose a challenging and stressful job. But isn't stress bad for me, you might ask? Well, the fact is, it depends, actually. Psychologists have found that your stress levels, your stress is bad as much as you think stress is bad for you. What do I mean about that? If you see stress as something that is bad and needs to be avoided at any cost, stress will actually affect you in a bad manner. So it will increase your blood pressure, it will increase your rest heart rate, and it will make you more prone to autoimmune disease, make you more prone to things like cancer, things like obesity, addictions, and things like that. It can actually make your life worse if you believe that stress is bad for you. But if you believe that stress is something as a chance of growth, as a way to push yourself and push your limits and overcoming challenges, stress can increase your self-efficacy, it can increase your quality of life if you have a positive mindset towards it. And when the challenge is high but adequate to your level of competence, what you experience is a flow state. Flow state is the optimal mental condition. And the fact is, during flow state, your perception of time is altered. So seconds seem passing like hours, and hours seem condensed in seconds. The person is completely absorbed into the task at hand, and every other rumination in the brain is gone. And what they have found is that the more flow you experience during the day, the better your life quality is. And conversely, the less flow you experience during the day, and the less satisfying your life is. And paradoxically, research have found that flow is primarily experienced during work rather than free time. And the reason for that is that one of the triggers of the flow state is challenge. And not so much people challenge themselves enough during their free time. They usually start to scrolling, or they will do activities that are more leisure-like instead of pushing their own limits. So you gotta choose a job when your skills are consistently at a good ratio with the challenge that is at your hand. Otherwise, it will become boring and you will get much less satisfied with what you're doing. The fifth element that you should look at a job is to make it, to perceive that as meaningful. A meaningful job has an impact on the life of other people and contributes to a cause that you feel important. Because having an impact and perceiving your job as important, by important I mean you do something actually useful for a cause that you actually care. It's one of the most important preventive factors for burnout in a job. It's also one of the most powerful drives of intrinsic motivation, and it guarantees that you keep going with your career for a long period of time. Because in the beginning, the job might sound all new, all fancy. There is always new things to learn. There is always new thing that you can understand. There is always new, different stimulus. But after a while, a job becomes repetitive. That's inevitable. A job becomes boring after time. And even if you want to master something, after some time there is not that much challenge that actually bothers you. So how can you keep going when the sense of mastery is no longer there, where there is no novelty there? There is meaning. There is the perception that what you're doing is important and is contributing to make the life of other people better. This is the most important driver of intrinsic motivation. And I want to specify one thing. Choosing a job only because you want to help a group of people that you care about and are suffering is not the best choice. You gotta first assess for a job where your daily tasks and personality are fitting. And from there, you start to craft your meaning around it. And there are some jobs that doesn't really produce that much high of an impact, like marketing. If you're working in marketing, you're not really saving the world, let's say, but you can use that money that you gain, you can give them into charity, for example. And because research shows that donating 5 to 10% of your yearly income leads to an increase of happiness as big as doubling your income. You remember one of the point I made for salary, which is your yearly salary doesn't really account that much for your life satisfaction. That's another stats that might be interesting. So if your job and if your daily task and your personality align with a specific job, go for it, and then use your money for something that you feel meaningful, something that you perceive as meaningful. So these were the 5 points that we've discussed in order to choose a new career that might be more suitable for you. And these 5 things are: task. Choose the task and not the interest. The second thing is salary. Don't choose a job for their salary because you're not aiming for average, and money doesn't really give you that much happiness anyway. The third thing that you should look for is personality. Choose something that is aligned with your personality and do a Big 5 personality assessment. Choose a job that is challenging, okay? Don't choose an easy job, otherwise you will get bored. And the fifth thing, choose a job that feels meaningful. The last bonus is there are some factors that, even if you find the perfect job, there could be some factors that make you dislike it, like long commuting, like long hour shifts, or a set of colleagues that are not really supportive. And the thing is, I get it that you want to sacrifice yourself, you are ambitious, you want to do great things, but you gotta have other elements in your life other than your career. So you gotta have a little bit, some friends, you gotta have a family or relationship, okay? Something like that in order for your life to be full, okay? So you gotta take all of these things into account. And I get it that you're ambitious. I get it that you say, oh no, but I want to work really hard for something that is important to me. I get it, but take also these things into account. So the final things that I want to tell you is that you can watch this kind of videos all day, but until you won't start to actually take actions and do something for really finding out what is suitable for you, that won't help you. You will make much more progress into trying random shit and understanding yourself better than watching this kind of videos all day long. And another thing that I'm going to tell you, if you're in high school, if you're very young, you're probably you're going to choose the wrong thing. It's likely that you will get it wrong, like I did. But if you're intentional and you constantly change and reevaluate your choice based on the information that I'm giving to you, you're gonna end up in a better place than you're right now. Because you have 2 chances. You can get it wrong and from there start to randomly guessing different jobs, or you can get it wrong, understand what you don't like or what you don't appreciate really in the job or the situation that you're right now, and from there choose the next better pick that you get into your mind, okay? So be very be very intentional with what you are choosing, because this depends. This is important because in the end, when you will look back at your life, it will determine whether you will regret your choices or be happy about it. This is very important, okay? I want you to understand that. Thank you for watching till here. I hope that this video will help you, and remember to aim upward, always.